Please make this. It's recording in progress. Please make this interactive. If you have any questions along the way, then we'll turn it over to Kelsey, and then Diavian will talk a little bit about navigating your way through tempo. So we are been around for more than 45 years. So we started in 1975 for women in the Milwaukee community, looked around in the boardrooms or their executive leadership positions and didn't see more women like them, and really wanted to say, how can we change that narrative for executive women? How can we advocate, elevate, and promote women in that space? So these were women at the pinnacle of their careers, and so they formed Tempo with 4 women back in 1975, and it has evolved greatly over the last 47 years. Go to the next slide and we'll see if this video works. This is an evolution of our recent new brand.
A single voice hitting the right note can shatter glass.
Many voices build on that timbre and strength.
They resonate. They create a vibration that can shake foundations.
Change expectations.
Many voices ring through
And ring true.
Tempo is a group of women who have spoken up,
Risen above.
and defied conventions to succeed.
And we are committed to helping others do the same.
We are each bold,
Smart, strong.
and uniquely powerful.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Together, our voices rise, and the world rises with us.
New brand, the world. We just launched that in December of 2020 with the help of Beta Rudder, who I know many of you mentioned is our marketing agency partner. But I think it really speaks to how we have changed as an organization, how the community has changed, and we wanted Tempo to really reflect the community in which we serve. So for those of you in the room, we have our branding cool impact report for you all to flip through. Many of the things that you will hear from us today are also highlighted in that impact report. I should also mention that my unique fact is I became a documentary executive producer. Who knew? So as part of our rebrand, we did a series of Share Your Story. So we asked for Temple members to share their stories. And we picked a handful of probably about 15 Temple members who participated. For those of you in the room, participated in a kind of an artist portrait with a local artist called Margaret Musa, who does this from a tintype photograph. So there is no negative, there are no like filters that you can put on. This is like raw footage of our members. And so we have a gallery of their photos, but as their portraits were being taken, we also interviewed them and had them tell their stories. That resulted in a 22-minute long documentary that we just shared at the Milwaukee Film Festival. And we just learned yesterday that we have also been accepted into the San Francisco Documentary Film Festival. Yeah. So really, really cool. And that is where my executive producer came in. Who knew? And it's on like IDBM or IMDb. So cool. So that was my unique fact. But anyway, so we can't release it to everyone just yet until it gets out of the film festival. But if you didn't see it at the Milwaukee one, be sure to watch it. We'll send it out and promote it to all of our members. So just a really, really cool opportunity and just a great evolution of our brand. So our mission and vision has been around since our organization was established in 1975, and that is the mission of furthering the impact of women leaders in our community. So how do we continue to bring others forward? How do we advocate? How do we elevate women through leadership? And then our mission or our vision is a society where executive women share an equal place in leadership, policy, and decision making. And while we're not quite there with the equal. We have made some incredible strides. I think everybody can agree. We're gonna have you back here, Tina. Nice to
Oh,
see
gosh.
you. So sorry. Tina just arrived, everyone. She's virtual, so we're glad to see you. I know it's very confusing, so. But we're getting close to having that equal place, and I think the more leaders that we bring on, the more that we can help to change that narrative and have a larger voice in Milwaukee and beyond. Our core values, so 3 core values: leadership. Obviously, you all are here because you have reached a level in your career that's executive. You are showcasing leadership. So that is obviously a huge aspect, a core value of ours. And how do we share that leadership with others? And then the next generation of leaders as well. Networking, certainly, we'll talk about the size of our organization and the depth and the breadth and the strength of having such a large organization. But networking between industries, between different organizations, between different levels of leadership, I think it's just a really great benefit. And then finally, mentoring. So I would argue that this has probably been how we are most recognized externally. So how the public sees us as an organization that really mentors. So up until about 6 years ago, before we introduced Emerging Women Leaders, we had mentoring within our organization with our mentor circles. So we'll talk a little bit about that effort, but it's, for a lack of better terms, it's a personal board of directors, and just really having that opportunity to share with one another. But you're kind of sharing with mentors, right? These are your peers. So we're missing that mentee aspect until we introduced our Emerging Women Leaders, which we'll talk about shortly. Member profile, you all, this is it. If you can see this, professional experience of 10 plus years of professional experience. I think where we are a differentiator is why you are all here is that 5+ years of executive level experience. So really having a seat at the table, you are the leader within your organization, you are the CEO, or you're helping to change that and drive your business forward within your organization. So that really sets us Temple members apart. Leadership, certainly, community involvement. So what are our members doing beyond their day jobs? So we know a lot of you are sitting on boards, a lot of you are volunteering, a lot of you are doing side hustles. So it's just really incredible to see all of your strengths and what you're doing within this community. And then certainly an endorsement. So that's why you all are here. That's our profile. Our growth. Here are our stats. So we are at 469 Temple members, which is just incredible. So you'll see in the next slide a little bit about that growth. But what I want to point out here is 332 companies. So it's not that we're just taking members from one company, but it's very diverse in terms of our industry served. We have done over the last couple of years really tapping into industries where they're male dominated: technology, manufacturing, you know, I'm sorry? M&A, mergers and acquisitions, absolutely. And so we hear that that is a lot of the reason why women join, because they are in a industry with a lot of men. And so it's not easy to share best practices all the time or be in among your women peers and women leaders. So that's really great. And then 60 new members. So we are always recruiting. We're always looking to our Temple members to help nominate, or we have women that we invite. So they're new to the Milwaukee area, but they certainly meet that profile. We want them to be a part of this and a part of this great network. This 60 new members does not include you all. So we have 38 with this class, I believe. So we're really excited. This is just from the last year. We'll talk a little bit about our annual year. It's a weird thing. This is our growth. So again, steady growth from 2016, 280 up to 469. So really have been very intentional about this growth and what we're doing to attract leaders in this space. We believe, you know, if we have a large chunk of that pie and we're really reflective on executive women, that we can help change the narrative and really enforce and be that voice within our community. Not only for mentoring, networking, and leadership, but you know, policy making and taking a stand, taking a role. So it's been really, really fun to see this grow. All right, so you just met our team members, Jen, that's me, Stephanie, Sherman, Kelsey, and then Diavian. So we are a small but mighty team. We had a board social here at our offices last night, and one of our board members just say, I don't know how you do it, but you guys do it, and our team is just incredible. We're incredibly collaborative, but we also are very open to feedback. So if there are things that you think that we can do better or improve, or communications, or looking for opportunities to get engaged, we will talk a little bit about that. We are served by a board of directors. So we have a 23 board member board led by board chair, who was recently elected May 1st, Mary Burgoon from Rockwell Automation. Our chair-elect is Heather Turner-Loth from Epstein Human Architects. And many of you may have also known or seen a lot of our past chair, DeWanna Wright-Cottrell from GMR Marketing, who just stepped down as of April 30th. She's not leaving the board. We made sure of that, but just has been a really incredible leadership over this past year and beyond. So that is who our structure is, our governance. We will go into this, but for those of you in the room, we have engagement opportunities and committees. So there are brief descriptions of all 13 of our Tempo committees. It's not mandatory or mandated that you join one of these committees, but it is a great way to get to know one another and really help to shape and drive what is going on within our organization. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into some of these committees here, but if you have any questions, Kelsey or Diavian can answer them for you about getting engaged with these committees. We are a 501c3, so those finance people in the room, our organization is a membership organization, so it's a little bit of a weird nonprofit ruling, but 501c6 for the organization, which includes all of the things that are listed here on the screen, seven monthly program meetings. We'll talk a little bit about that, professional development, our Tempo Real Talks, Tempo Talks, and then Kelsey will go through a lot of these other opportunities as well. Then we do have a charitable arm. It's a 501c3, which is our foundation. So again, we'll talk a little bit about how are we giving back to the community and how you can help support us in that manner. Really quickly, future of Tempo. I'll slide through these so we can get to Kelsey and I can stop talking. So we are one more year into our strategic plan, and then we'll start another strategic plan in the fall. Bless you. But we're really proud of the work that we have done over the last 3 years and will continue to do. But this was really our intention in 2020 when I established kind of where I saw Tempo emerging into the next 3 years. So by 2023, Tempo Milwaukee is an inclusive network of female executives, emerging women leaders, providing leadership, professional development, community, and mentorship. We are an organization whose strength and position impacts the community. We are a thought leader on equity and matters of importance for women in the workplace. Our fourth priority is a business partner resource for media, corporations, nonprofits, and affiliates. And 5, a financially strong organization. So how are we going to get there? Here are the 4 quick pillars that we have really been tackling for our organization. And we really see great alignment with all of our committees from top down to emerging women leaders. How are they helping to meet goals and establish goals to help us get to these strategies? So network and value, we've talked a little bit about that. 469 women, Tempo women. How do we harness that network and continue to look at the value that we're providing through programming, through professional development, through mentoring? So we really want to harness that as well. Legacy, we've more than a 40-year history. How do we continue to build on that and really be thankful for all the women that have created the foundation for us to be here? But then what does that look like beyond? So what does the future of Tempo look like? So that's really where our emerging women leaders comes in with that next generation and who we want to be the next 45 years. So a great deal of that is the brand work that we have done over the last couple of years. Finally, our third pillar is equity and belonging. So we have a priority. This is throughout our organization. We want to ensure that we have our DEI lens on. Like many organizations, we are on a journey and we continue to be on a journey, but I think we've been very intentional over the last several years to make sure that our organization is reflective of the community in which we serve. And that not only means members, but through our programming, through our vendors, where we hold events, all of that stuff is really quite important to us. And so we want to also have a space to have dialogue, sometimes and many times uncomfortable dialogue about what is our part, what is Tempo's mission and vision in terms of how do we change that narrative and really cascade and help along our journey for DEI. So we'll talk about specific programming related to our work with diversity, equity, and inclusion. And then finally is the community and impact. So we want to be that resource. We want to be that collaborative partner, not only with different organizations in the community, but through our foundation as well. So how are we giving back? At the heart of all of this is our member experience. So we want to make sure that we are providing, you are our bread and butter, like you are why we're here. Our members are really at the heart of everything that we do, and we want to ensure that we're continuing to provide that value. And then certainly at a foundation that we are a financially strong organization. So I can say we are a financially strong organization. So a lot of work that is continuing, and then we'll start the new process for a new strategic plan in the fall. I think that is it. Great, I'm gonna sit down. Stand out.
Thanks, Jen. I will go through Tempo's key differentiators, really what we offer you all as our members. So starting first with our programming, again, there's a lot of it. So we always say there's like something for everyone. It's kind of a choose your own journey. So by no means do we expect everyone to be able to do it all, but we hope that in this mix, there's something that stands out to you and speaks directly to you that you feel really passionate about or connected to. So on this slide are our 4 kind of standard offerings in terms of program. They're scheduled out throughout the entire year, and you'll note their meeting dates. But our third Thursday program meetings, this is really Tempo's monthly offering standard meeting that we bring all of our members to. Guests are invited to attend, but this really is a Tempo member. You'll see primarily those in attendance are those Tempo members and then their guests alongside of them. But they are held on the third Thursdays 7 times throughout the year from 11:30 to 11:30 to 1:30, not 3:30. And right now our location is at the Italian Community Center. So we are back in person for these sessions. Our next one is happening next week, Thursday, May 19th, a conversation with Heather Ladage, who is the new publisher of the Milwaukee Business Journal. So if you're not registered yet for that one, registration is still open and we would love to have you. Again, this is open to guests to join you as well if there's someone that you would like to bring along. But this program specifically is a fireside chat with Heather. Sometimes it's going to be a panel, sometimes it's a keynote discussion. So we try to mix it up and really bring in local leaders to kind of share their leadership journeys or just about an upcoming initiative that's happening in the Milwaukee community. Then we have our professional development series, and these are held on the first Fridays quarterly throughout the year. 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning. For those of you in person, the location is right next door. So you found it. But 7:30 to 9:30 in the morning. It's an early one for these Friday mornings, but these sessions are great because they're hands-on. They're more of a workshop feel. You'll be able to take something away with you that's tangible that you can start implementing right into your workplace. And that's always the goal that we try to provide when finding our speakers and our topics. The next session is coming up on Friday, June 3rd. It is on the Love Fear Paradigm with William Deck. And again, we really encourage Tempo members to join us for these ones. It's also open to EWL members. And then we also love when members bring their teams alongside them. So again, a really great professional development opportunity that you might not be getting in the workplace, but you can bring your entire team to go and have this session and complete it together, and have those takeaways that you bring right back with you. So again, registration is open for that one on our website, and we hope that you can join us. Tempo Talks is our completely virtual option. So if anyone is still unable to be in person, or it's just the convenience of it as well, Tempo Talks would be your go-to. These are held on the second Fridays throughout the year, 7 times a year from noon to 1, again, completely virtual as a webinar on Zoom. And what makes these ones unique is that our speakers are always going to be Tempo and or EWL members. So these were born at the start of the pandemic, when we were kind of figuring out how do we offer programming to our members still in this environment. So we went virtual, but then we also realized that we have such expertise and such talent right here in our membership that we should be sharing that with each other. So it allows you to get to know your fellow members and what they're doing professionally and personally, and what their different expertise is. So it's always a different topic. We have one actually coming up tomorrow on life hacks for better work-life integration. So some of them, our members share more of their personal side, some share more professional side, but we try to mix it up. Usually a panel discussion. So again, registration will remain open up until noon tomorrow. So you can register if you have an open lunch hour tomorrow to join us for that conversation. And then Tempo Real Talks. These are held quarterly on the first Thursdays in the evenings. And these are put on by our DEI committee. So these are open and honest conversations around racism, white privilege, implicit bias. Again, this was born during the pandemic as well, when we knew that we had a role to play, and we had our members right in front of us as an active audience, and we wanted to serve them in that way. So these have been really great conversations that have been ongoing for quite some time. We did more of like a book club feel at first with them, and now we're offering a variety of different programs. So bringing in different speakers and doing different trainings. So each one of those will be a little bit different in this upcoming year. So keep an eye out for our first session for the new year in July, again, on that first Thursday. So then those are kind of our standard offerings throughout the entire year. And then these are more of our special events or different initiatives that fall under our programming as well. We have our Women's Affinity Alliance, which is really formed for and around business, like ERGs, or I know that there's many different names for them, but employee resource groups. I think the initial idea was these women employee resource groups, but what we found is that there are so many new resource groups that are within all different organizations that this opportunity allows for best sharing, best practice sharing, and for these different ERG leaders to come together, and maybe they've been around for 20 plus years and they have really great advice for maybe some newer organizations that are just starting to launch some ERG groups within their organizations. So if you are actively involved in your organization's ERG initiatives, we would highly encourage you to add the Women's Affinity Alliance onto your membership. It's a $100 extra add, but it allows you access to their quarterly events free of charge, and then a directory of different contacts, and then different resources as well that are available online. You're also able to join their events just as a Tempo member, as a guest, if you are not an individual member of WAY. So if there's a topic that speaks directly to you, but you're not necessarily a member, you can certainly join. So the next session is being held on May 25th, hosted by Godfrey Kahn, and it is on surveys that drive success. So how do we survey our employees in a way that drives results and is impactful? And here are just some of our 2022 22 through 23 way sponsors. They are in the middle of their renewal period. So you will see this group continue to grow, but this is just an example of the organizations who have signed on as way partners for this year. And then our Emerging Women Leaders group, I know we have many representatives on the call today who have risen up from EWL, so they would be great resources if you have any questions on what the EWL experience is and compared to the Tempo experience. But this group continues to grow and continues, I think, just to evolve really, really quickly. They have been around since 2016, and you can just see the immense growth there. And then now I think that we're seeing that new growth in all of those maybe original EWL members rising up to Tempo. So it continues to be a really fun group to watch in the growth. Here is their criteria for membership. So just as it differentiates from the Tempo membership, really we're looking at mid-career level women who are 6+ years into the workplace, and that rising star, that next Tempo member, because again, we do want to see as many rise up into Tempo. They're actively involved in their communities through committee work or board work or volunteer work. They also demonstrate that same leadership that we see in all of our Tempo members within their organizations, and then they get nominated by either Tempo or EWL members. Their nominations are twice a year. We just wrapped one up last week. So we have, I think, a group of nearly 40 who were nominated into this latest group. So really excited again to see the continued growth there. If you know of anyone in your network who meets this criteria, we would welcome you to invite them to events with you to get a feel for the group ahead of those nomination periods, so that by the time that nomination period comes around, they're really well connected and already engaged with the group. Jen mentioned it a little bit before, but we do have a 501c3 charitable arm of Tempo through our foundation. And the focus of this foundation is really in advancing women, both undergraduate women and then established professional women. So we provide $15,000 a year in educational scholarships, again, to local undergraduate students through our mentor awards. So each one of our mentor awards winners designates a Wisconsin college or university to receive a $5,000 scholarship in their name. And then we also have launched in the last 5 years now, the annual professional development grant, which is up to $15,000 a year. And again, this goes to established professional women who are looking to either get some sort of certification or take a class or a course or a training. And this grant pays for that. In the last year, I think we divided it up between 5 recipients. So it can be up to one, it can be one up to however many recipients for that $15,000. So really great to see that impact over the years. And then we have our Women's Leadership Collaborative, and this is a collective and a collaboration between the 3 larger women's organizations in Milwaukee. So between Tempo, Milwaukee Women Inc., and Professional Dimensions, each organization has its own niche group that they serve and their different missions, but they're all serving women and for women in leadership. There's a lot of overlap between those members or those membership groups. And when they came together a few years ago, it was, we are the women's organizations of this community. So let's bring our voices together to make some collective impact. And their specific focus is around pay equity. So lots of good work happening there. Whenever there's events or initiatives happening within the WLC, all 3 organizations will push those out to our memberships. So feel free to stay plugged in on what the WLC is up to. Alrighty, so those were like the key program offerings, kind of like the first steps into Tempo membership. And then these are a little bit more of those fun signature events and additional offerings that I will go through quickly. So our mentor circles, this is a hugely popular offering for our Tempo members. We have 127 women actively participating in these groups, and they are small groups of peer mentoring. So between 5 to 10 different members are placed into a mentor circle group. We, as a Tempo team, don't control any sort of the content or what is discussed. And they all kind of operate a little bit differently based on the needs of that group, but it's really a confidential space for you to bring your authentic self and connect with other women that might have some similar situations that they're in, or just to offer you some advice. So we often hear it's your personal board of directors, which is it's a really great value add. And a lot of our members are actively involved. If you are interested, we are now doing placements on a quarterly basis. So you can email the info box or you can email me directly, and we can get you on track to get placed at the next round of placements. We also have a one-to-one mentoring opportunity for our Tempo members. And so that is where our Tempo members serve as a mentor to our EWL mentees. This continues to grow as well. We continue to see more and more interest between both mentees and mentors. We often hear that it's less of a formal mentee-mentor relationship and more of just mentoring each other and learning from one another. So you're paired formally for a year, and you decide between the two of you what that looks like and what you are meeting about and what your meeting cadence is. But just some really incredible relationships have formed from this. And I think I can say for those EWLers who have risen up, many of them, it was their mentor from this program that served as their nominator and their invite into Tempo, which was really exciting. We also have coffee connections opportunities. These were born in the pandemic as well, when we were just really wanting to recreate kind of that one-to-one connection that happens in a space during the networking portion of an event, or just when you're sitting at a table next to someone at an event that we weren't having, but they have stayed, and we continue to see around 50 people at least register each month to be paired with another member. So it's a one-to-one matching, just completely random. You are notified at the beginning of the month who your match is, and then it's up to the two of you to plan either one or multiple meetings. We've had some that have gone for walks or gone for coffee or done happy hours. So it's really up to you guys. And sometimes you're reconnecting with a Tempo member that you already know, but now we've carved out some time and a reason for you to connect. And sometimes it's a brand new Tempo member. So as you saw, there's 469 Tempo members to know and to meet. So certainly this is an option you can sign up for at any time. And again, it's just, if I want to meet with someone in the month of June, I'll sign up for June and meet with someone. And then if July and August are crazy, maybe I'll come back in September and do it again. So really up to you. It's a fun, kind of easy way to connect one-on-one. Then we have a few signature events. So our leadership event is held each year in the fall. We are looking to hold this in October of this coming year. So within this summer is when we make all of our fun announcements. So make sure you're following along with those as we work to confirm a speaker. But this event is to bring in a nationally known speaker to speak on some sort of leadership topic and share journeys and best practices and key learnings. This event has continued to evolve and grow each year. And so each year we always say we don't know how we're going to top the last one, but we always figure out how to. So we're still in that phase right now of how are we going to top the last one. But we had Allison Felix last year, which was incredible at the Wisconsin Center with around 1,100 attendees. So by far our largest. And again, we're in that phase right now. How are we going to top it? But stay tuned because we will. Then we have our mentor awards. Again, Jen mentioned that mentoring is really kind of what put Tempo on the map and was a key differentiator from the start. And so this is our longest standing signature event. We just held our 32nd annual. So in February of 2023, we will hold our 33rd annual. But again, this is to celebrate mentors in our community, to celebrate those who are going above and beyond to bring up the next generation and foster mentoring within our community. So this past year, we honored Alicia Dupies and Jackie Hurd Barber. And this event is really just about hearing their stories. And I always leave feeling inspired and just to hear the impact that they're making. And I think that that is felt around the room. So it's always a fun celebration, a feel-good event as well. Then we have our annual holiday party. We do have this date confirmed, so you can put it on your calendar right now and block out December 15th, 2022 in the evening. This is always one of our favorite events. It's social, there's no real programming or anything like that, but it's really just to connect with fellow Tempo members and EWL members and celebrate the last year and then look ahead to the year to come. So it is held at the Pfister, again, December 15th, 2022. I hope to see you all there. And our golf outing, Dina, I think we already have you on the list based on your intro. So hopefully you can make it June 27th. Registration just opened this past week. So we are, registration is open. We have space for you. There's also a summer social at the end. So if you are not able to golf for the whole day, but you'd still like to come, you can join us for some happy hour afterwards. It's always a fun event. I hear you don't have to be good at golf to participate. I've never actually golfed, but that's what people say. So it's a fun day. We always, fingers crossed, have a beautiful summer sunny day on the golf course. Alrighty, I know we have 9 minutes. Sorry, Dee, for your section.
Fine, 9 minutes left. I'm gonna run through this, but yeah, so navigating the organization. So at this time, you should have all received your dues invoice. You probably wonder like, when, how do I get started, when, and it all starts now. With the member dues, we also sent around the new member packet where you would add in information about your title, a little bit about you, updated headshot photo of you. And yes, if you haven't already did it, we encourage you to, because we have a quarterly newsletter that we send out every quarter, and just want to make sure that you're included in that. And we also have our new member Friday, where we feature you on our social media site. So just want to make sure that we feature all your beautiful faces. And as Kelsey and Jen went through all the different opportunities that we have, it's so much to do. You don't have to do all of it, but we do encourage you to hop in and yeah, find something. Okay, so our Tempo website, this, you all establish your profile with login information when you receive the new member packet. If you ever have any issues with navigating the organization, you can always reach out to me. Always here to help. And on the website, you have access to all your membership dues, a full directory of all the Tempo and emerging women leaders. What else? It's just a lot of good stuff in there, our full calendar, more stuff about Tempo. And yeah, like I said, if you ever have any issues with anything, you can always reach out to me. Okay, the Monday message, it is very important if you're always wondering like, what's going on? What can I hop into? Every Monday before noon, we send out a Monday message, and it's a variety of different things that's included. A few, yeah, like different announcements we got, different articles. And if you haven't received our Monday message that went out early this week, let me, Kelsey, anybody from the Tempo team know, and we'll make sure that we got you so that you do have all that, because it is important information. Okay, and like no, that's not that, but we have our members Advance in Milwaukee quarterly blast that goes out, and in these we have job postings. So anything that's going on in your organization that you want to share out with the community, we invite you to reach out to our info, and we will share that with all our members, because as much as you support us, we would love to support you all. And yeah, any different events and job postings. We do have a job board. So if you're looking to hire within your organization, you can always reach out, or you can do it yourself. But like Jen said, she says I'm an expert with the job board. So yeah. But yeah, that's fun too. Okay, and then our quarterly newsletter sent out every quarter. So it's basically just an overview of the quarter, who our new members are, what was some signature events that went on, different things, just an update, just so everybody's up to par with what's going on, basically. And yes, as I mentioned, this is the job board. So you can find this in the Career Center. So when you log into the profile, yes. So you won't be able to have access to it unless you log into your profile. So yeah, in the Career Center, you can upload your resume and it's free at no cost. So like I say, anytime you need to hire or got different opportunities out there that you want to share with the community, do that. And I always want to let everybody know that we are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. So anytime you come to any Tempo events or want to share what's going on with your different coffee connections, your circles, you can always tag our Tempo Milwaukee page, and we're so happy to share. So the new member engagement. So now that you're all Tempo members, somebody from our engagement committee will reach out to you. And this just gives you all a chance to ask any last questions you may have and, you know, just get a feel of what might be best for you. Also want to encourage everybody to always put this into like your resume and everything that you're a part of Tempo, because we are like a gym. Who doesn't want to be a part of Tempo? And yeah, anytime you come to the program meetings, professional development events, or any events, we always invite you to welcome guests and everything. The more, the merrier. And yeah, join any committee that gained your interest. Like Jen said, you can reach out to me or Kelsey on like, how do you know, join basically. But yes, everybody's journey is different and you don't necessarily have to do everything, but do what you feel is best for you. And I'm just signing up to sign up, you know, type of thing. Like, really, put your time into it. But yes, choose your own journey.
Thank you. Thanks, Dee. Thanks, Kelsey, as well. Just really great stuff. As Diavion mentioned, nothing is mandatory, but I think one of the greatest ways to get involved and really engaged in Tempo is to serve on a committee. We have leadership opportunities for chairs and vice chairs as well. And one of the things that we often hear from our new members is, what committee should I join? I would say one of the signature events is a really great way. They only meet 6 times or 6 months out of the year, typically for once a month. Most of them are in person, so it's a great interactive way. So either joining a leadership event, which Kelsey mentioned, we are just starting to think about ideas for this year. So that's a great way to join and get to know each other. And then our mentor awards, which would probably start at the end of this year in the fall. So I know we've got a couple more minutes, but I do want to quickly, because Stephanie Sherman, who I know introduced herself, has only been with our organization for about 2.5 months. So it's not that we don't want her to be up here and presenting, but this is kind of observation mode. So she's going to be up here doing most of this next time. But as VP of Strategic Partnerships, she is really responsible for overseeing all of the different unique communities within our organization. So Women's Affinity Alliance, our focus on our foundation, how are we giving back? Overseeing our emerging women leaders as well, and then the work that we're doing with our Women's Leadership Collaborative, which is a collaboration again with Tempo, Professional Dimensions, and Milwaukee Women Inc. So I just wanted to give her that brief shout out. So she is your gal for all of that. So any quick questions or anything, any comments you wanted to say, or anything that we can help you with really quickly, either from the virtual or for those of you in the room? A lot of stuff to digest so early in the morning.
I guess I'll just put like a shout out there, the Women's Affinity Alliance. I joined as a member again, but I was part of our BWG at my former company, and our company was one of the members of it. And that's how I was originally introduced to Tempo several years ago, and I was just so impressed with it. And from the people that we met at those events, just that opportunity for information sharing, if you've got BWGs at your company, or even not, if you're looking at starting them up, I just found it to be a really positive experience with a lot of just real great information to share for people that were very interested in doing the same thing. So I just want to put a plug in for that.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. That is really great. We've been hearing that, and so it's just great feedback. So appreciate that. Yeah, it's a great best practice sharing for ERGs and PRGs. Yes.
I just wanted to say I've done my first coffee connections already.
Awesome.
I was fortunate enough to be paired with Barbara Miller, who was she's been a member since the 70s.
Yes.
So yeah, it was so great to hear about her time with Tempo and kind of learn about coming up from it in the beginning. So if you have a chance to reach out to her, she's fantastic. I also wanted to say just another quick fun fact. I did a portrait with Margaret Musa for Mother's Day last year with my 2 little kids, and it was so great. She's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you have a chance to get a photo with her, it's just a really fun experience. Super great.
Thank you for Lisa. Then that would maybe we'll include that in our next newsletter.
Yeah, and I brought he was 1 at the time, and I don't suggest bringing a little kid. We don't put it very, very still. So it kind of looks like a ghost, but it's still really
That's
cool.
super cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Other questions from those on the phone, virtual? I don't see any unmuted mics. Anything else? Any other questions? It's so wonderful to see you and meet you all. Thank you for joining us at our Tempo offices, and for those of you joining us virtually. We hope this was informative, and we really are looking forward to getting all of you engaged in some way. Reach out to our Tempo office. Any one of us can help answer any questions for you. Just really, really excited. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes, welcome to the
Thanks for having us.
family.